Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release, where all games are considered good until proven bad. Welcome everyone to 1981. We're now playing every video game released at some point in 1981 in alphabetical order, so who knows what we'll see or what we'll find. We last left off with the Eliminator for the TRS-80. Let's press forward and see what's next in 1981. This is Empire of the Overmind. I say because we played this on the Apple II, and this is the Atari home computer version. I believe it's a text adventure / role-playing game, but we didn't get too far in the Apple II version. Let's take a look at the box of Empire of the Overmind. For computer game boxes, this is pretty slick. Of all the ones we've seen, it has like a dash of I did this myself at home, but then has a little bit of a commercial quality to it that it looks like it's really good. And if you flip it over to the back, you can see we'll be playing on 5 1/4 floppy disk. A computer fantasy game, embark on a heroic quest. The powerful magic of King Alcazar summons you beyond the boundaries of time and space to a different plane of reality, to the Empire of the Overmind. I'm intrigued. What is the Empire of the Overmind? The Overmind is a tyrant on the blue and red planets, part machine, part spirit of evil. Long ages past, it cleverly overthrew the great King Alcazar, but the king escaped to safety and planned revenge that has taken 1,000 years to fulfill. Of course it has. Now you travel to the Empire of the Overmind to destroy the infernal abomination. It's like a computerized fantasy novel, and it sounds that way. That's the way that computer games are edging the adventure side toward. It's a computerized fantasy novel. So it said it's easy to learn, no rules to learn, because you simply type in English phrases like climb tree. They always say it's easy, but it's never that easy in 1981. All right, so that was the box. Do we have any other artwork for Empire of the Overmind? I believe that is it for artwork. We do have a manual, though. That's awesome. I don't think we had one for the Apple II. So here you go, instructions. This is for the TRS-80, Apple II, and Atari home computer. Empire of the Overmind is a fantasy adventure game that will keep you on the edge of your seat for many hours of exciting entertainment. We already bought the game. You don't have to sell us that we're going to be on the edge of our seat. We'll find out for sure. You find yourself in a lost, strange world by the mysterious Overmind. Overmind's powerful and powerful and crafty. It controls an army of evil creatures who are waiting in dark corners, lurking in abandoned cities, to prevent foolhardy adventurers like you from discovering it and destroying it. With their help, clever strategy, and just a little luck, you can overthrow the terrible Overmind. For players new to adventure games, and adventure games not like a computer game, it gives you the definition here. It's not moving targets on the screen, requiring you to split-second timing to score hits. An adventure game is more like a computerized novel that allows a person to assume the role of a central character, a role-playing, if you will, and make decisions about the character and what they should do next. It also assumes the roles of other characters, good and evil, in the novel, although the computer is obviously limited to what it can display on the screen with a little imagination. That's right, you gotta read text, kids, and imagine things. One of the features of adventure games, which makes them very easy to learn, is that commands are typed as simple English phrases. Oh yes, simple English phrases. Walk around till you find something interesting. They always make it sound simple on paper, but in the game, if you go in cold, well, without a guide at least, we have a manual now, but without a guide, you gotta pretty much understand what the computer wants you to say. There you go. They give examples like get red brick or get gold brick. Can sometimes result in unpleasant results. Yes, it does. So it understands verb adjective now, and that's pretty cool because we've seen only 2-word text parsers, just a splash of a few adventure games that understand more, like Zork. Zork is the bomb. But everything else is usually 2 words. So it looks like 4 one-eyed commands are useful for playing aids. Look will give you brief things and you can see in your area. You got inventory, you got quit to stop the game, you got wait. The objective of Empire of the Overmind is to destroy the Overmind. You can expect to make many mistakes while you learn what it is to do to accomplish this, but very few of them are so disastrous as to prevent you from continuing to a successful conclusion. Oh man, an adventure conclusion. We did see on the back of the Adventure International boxes when you could expect to finish these games, 30 minutes or less, somewhere around there. Welcome, Jeff Quest. We're playing Empire of the Overmind. Well, about to. Well, we finally got a manual. Oh my gosh, I just saw on the side how long the manual is. This is explaining how to enter commands and the examples on the different computers, because this was on the TRS-80, the Apple II, and the Atari home computer. And then it has the story. It's a poem. To play the Empire of the Overmind, it's too long to put in computer memory, so They're not going to put the poem in the computer. They want you to read the poem. But then they have instructions for loading the game. We can breeze through those because we're going to load them automatically. And then how to load Apple computers. So you can look at this. This is how you would load them on the Apple computer. And then for the Atari computers, man, all the loading commands, which I'm not giving you the genuine loading experience of 1981. Thank goodness. So you cannot load into the program. If you cannot load into the program, what do you do? And then you have any technical support. You just go to the internet. I mean, wait, it's 1981. You just mail in to Avalon Hill Computer Games, and they'll be able to help you. You name it, we've got it. We got a game on it. That's Avalon Hill. So here you go. This is the Rime of the Overmind, and the rest of the manual is a story limerick. It is literally the lore made into a song, which I will not recite here, but look at this. This is all one song for Empire of the Overmind, which means we didn't read the story, so we may not understand a certain part of the game. I bet there's some cryptic thing there that's going to just totally lambast us and we won't be able to get any further unless we decipher that. So they have special features, secondary rule. Oh, they have rules. That's fun. Not rules are fun, but just they have things to pay close attention to while you're playing Empire of the Overmind. Kind of like tips and tricks they do on Atari. All right, so that was the manual. We actually got the manual for Empire of the Overmind. Let's pop it in and play on the Atari home computer. This was released at some point in 1981 by Avalon Hill, or published by Avalon Hill. Will it crash? Everyone cross your fingers and toes. Our Atari home computer has been pretty good. It's not been a Acorn Atom computer or the TRS-80's been pretty good. We only had a couple crashes, but with home computer games, you never know. There you go, Empire of the Overmind. We're in, and I think this is only text on the Apple II. I don't think we had any graphics. Do we get anything? We're in a forest. You see many tall trees, a path, an empty water skin, and a wooden stick. You're holding nothing special. Of course we are. If I look, does it say anything else? No, it's the exact same thing. And I'm getting that slight lag we saw on the Apple II version as well. So if I go north, what happens? Oh, rephrase that? Wait, is this the one that didn't understand until I actually say? I need specific information. I said go north. Please rephrase go north and try again. How do you rephrase go north? If we're in a forest, we see an empty... Okay, then get water skin. See how there's like a slight delay? That's a little picky. Anyway, you pick up an empty water skin. You're holding an empty water skin. All right, get that stick. For a person who started playing King's Quest for adventure games, I know you get everything you can if it's not nailed down. And that includes in text adventure games. So what else do we have here? Tall trees. Get those trees. Oh, I didn't type it right. Rephrase. Get that tree. A mighty effort, but to no avail. Hey, it understood that we wanted the tree. Okay, so if you do look again, at least the computer knows we're trying to communicate with it. You're in a forest, you see many tall trees and a path. Go path. Okay. Wait, I went the path? I didn't even type it right. It worked. I didn't even type path correctly. I misspelled path and it still worked. You're on a high plateau above a cliff. You see a large red planet in the sky, a path, a mountain trail, a cave entrance, a steep cliff, and a peak towering overhead. Now, the biggest, best adventure game we played up to this point was Zork. And when I say play, I'm just saying we got a quick taste of it. And of all the text adventure games, it's meant to be like a world that you explore as a text adventure game. This is meant to be like a diet version of that, Empire of the Overmind, where it's meant to be this large expanding world. You will have to draw your own maps and so forth, but it doesn't go to the length of like making it pseudo role-playing. Very few adventure games do that, and this tries to do like a little bit of the role-playing kind of experience here, where you pick up and do things that can make your character better. But majority of adventure games, text adventure games, they just have, you go here, you do this, you pick up treasures, still following the same trope of the Colossal Cave adventure kind of thing. So this one actually does a little bit more than that, but it is all text. That's it. This is a text adventure game. So that's Empire of the Overmind. Of all the text adventure games we played, really Zork is the one I'd want to get into a little bit further because, oh, I just saw in the chat. Yeah, that's true. The 3 words is not very common, and so that's pretty cool that this has Empire of the Overmind going for that. But unique words, yes, definitely. And definitely, we didn't see the space. So on the back of the box, did it tell us how big this sucker was or what requirements? It did not. We got that with the Adventure International games. Yeah, I'm with you on Zork. But for this one, of all the other adventure games we played, it does have slight RPG elements in it. I'm still going to go about 3 stars around average for what you'd expect for the time. And again, without doing a deep dive into the game, playing through the whole adventure, all the text adventure, I'm also basing this on reviews or what other people said at the time. It wasn't anything extremely special, so it's not anything really, really good, not anything really, really bad. So we're going to go 3 stars for Empire of the Overmind. And let's see what our next game is. After that, we're now still on the Atari home computer. And this is Encounter at Questar 4. Let's see what Encounter at Questar 4 is, starting with the box. I wonder what company made this. Artworks, I think your logo's a little loud. It looks more like the game's called Artworks, and Encounter at Questar 4 is the publisher. If you flip it over in the back, it still has the Artworks on the back. So by Artworks, Encounter at Questar 4. Any other artwork for Encounter at Questar 4? We have a advertisement flyer. The Artworks advertisement flyer. So this one has... where is the game? Okay, there it is, down at the very bottom middle. If you can see, this is like in a magazine publication for what it would look like. And then example of the screenshot there. All right, let's take a look at the manual for Encounter at Questar 4. Written by Douglas McFarlane. Way to go, Douglas. Welcome to Questar Sector 4. As helmsman of a Riker starship, your mission is to protect your star space from the dreaded Zentarians. Not to be confused with Atarians. Use your hyperspace engines and phasers to destroy the aliens. Caution must be taken to avoid the Zentarian mines and crossfire. Good luck. Plug your joystick into slot 1. Yes, we're on an Atari home computer. We just played Empire of the Overmind and text adventure games. There's no controller, but we can have an Atari controller here to plug in, man. Although there's no difficulty selection, the game will become more difficult after each board is cleared. So add that to it's not called a level or a stage. They call these boards. Once you get to the next board, then you'll see the new things after you clear a board. The shape of the adversaries will get smaller and the rate of fire will increase. To clear a board, you destroy 10 of the moving adversaries that are blue. Moving adversaries should not be confused with the bonus ships, which are red. You will be awarded bonus points if you hit either ship on the scoring table. So you're shooting people around, and then you go to the next board, and it's like an arcade game on the Atari home computer. Points are awarded. Yes. What points do we get? So adversaries are 100 points. Yes, more points the farther levels you get. No points are deducted from your score. However, you're initially given 5 ships, so 5 lives. You'll get an additional ship for each 3,000 points you score. One thing I find that's very charming about reading the manuals and getting into the paperwork of video games is they always have different ways to describe stuff. We're in the wild west of video games right now. Anybody and anything could be a video game or what they could classify as a video game. So everyone has their own way of describing what they are. We have a lot of standards for video games now. There is no standards. IBM is out as a PC, which is setting some standards, but it's not going to catch on yet. It's going to be a long time before this is even a PC. We're not even on a personal computer. We're on the Atari home computer. So here we go. This is program notes. Oh, nice. They have stuff for the developers there. If you wish to make Encounter at Questar 4 either easier or more difficult, change the if statement. No way. So the manual tells the developers how to change the game. Is that kind of like the options in video games? That's pretty cool. That's true. It was very, very expensive. If you thought the $600 TRS-80 was expensive, then the IBM PC, I believe, was already $2,000 at this point. All right, so that was a very cool manual for Encounter at Questar 4. Let's pop it in and play on our Atari home computer. Released by Artworks, if you didn't know, at some point in 1981. And this, I believe, is, yes, so we're loading, I think it said in the manual too, we're loading on cassette. So C load, and then don't adjust your volume. That's just the way it sounds when you load on cassette on the Atari home computer. Well, at least in fast forward. We'd have to wait a lot longer, but we are not. Here we go. Encounter at Questar 4. What will happen? That's true. We have to do everything in inflation. So when we see all the ads of costs for these video games, if the game costs on cassette like $30, that's nowadays money at least $65, I think, for a video game or a disc game. It's nuts. All right, so here, joystick plugged in. We're going in. Push and start, which, by the way, it's the start that you see on your Atari home computer. Push and start. Let's go. Joystick Yes, works. It looks like I got 8-way. I'm moving the ship that's in the top right corner. So Encounter at Questar 4 is like an arcade game that never really existed. Yeah, and the shot works. Shoot the enemies down. Every time the enemy shoots a shot, it makes a plus sign on the screen. And then I have I guess it looks like a bonus ship there. Let me see if I can get for the bonus ship. That's weird. It's almost like the mushrooms from Centipede. It's adding to the level. Can I move past it, or is it... Oh, if I touch it, it's a mine. Okay, so they're laying all the mines around. Gotcha. And it's a little bizarre because the enemy that shoots, it's shooting and I slow down. Like, watch when I'm moving. Every time the enemy shoots, I get a brief pause. Almost like when you play a multiplayer game and your buddy picks up a power-up in the multiplayer game and the game has to wait for a sec while they power up. It feels like that. Like I'm getting a brief pause. Oh, I can blow up the mines too with my lasers. Nice. All right, so yeah, right off the bat, easy pick up and play arcade game. And it's showing the point values. That's pretty cool. I don't know how the warp's hitting us. It didn't say anything about a warp in the manual, but it's... Oh, I touched the mine. And you can see on the right side, look how it's keeping track of my players. It has full numbers to say I got 2 ships left. And it gives you 5 originally. So the way they calculate lives is they don't just say a number. It's full numbers on the right side. Oh, they spawn me right on top of it. So there you go. They got the high score now displayed at the bottom. That's interesting. And I push start again. It's going all the way across the screen. Encounter at Questar 4. Wow, that's interesting, Jeff Quest. That's crazy. Oh, see, he made a mine spawn. Yeah, look how it's calculating the lives. That seems like a very, I guess, weird way to calculate. Like, it's almost like they're... Well, we're going down in lives really fast now. All right, so we're moving on to the next board. It's going to lay mines, and the lasers also hit me too. Oh, that was cheap shot. So this is by Doug McFarlane. First thing we've seen by Doug on the channel. Possibly one of the first things he's ever done. And it feels like I'm playing an arcade game at home. And if you think of the games that you could play on the Atari home console, this is very good. But for a home computer, Atari home computer, it's all right. It feels a little bit stiff when the enemy's shooting. Like I'm trying to move across the screen and I gotta wait while they're shooting their mines and laying everything. But anything that works on an Atari joystick is all right by me. I'm trying to think of another game that's similar to this idea, where you have a playfield that you can move around. We've seen maybe a handful with this kind of formula, so it's still fresh, very fresh. Just 1981. All right, that's awesome. Okay, so Encounter at Questar 4 is enjoyable. It gets the job done. Is it average? Yes. Is it above average is the question. I would give it, because of the arcade feel, it's kind of a pick up and play kind of game, and it's not Space Invaders or a shooter in that fashion. I'll go 3.5 stars. It's only one player, not multiplayer, so I'm thinking above average for this one. Yeah, the slowdown is unfortunate, but it still is playable and works, and it makes me want to get better at it. If this was the only game you had on the Atari, totally, you'd be able to play this for a while. So I can still say around average for it. Of all the other releases we've seen up to this point, I really can't say it pushes the above average mark. So I'm going to go 3 stars for Encounter at Questar 4. It's good. It's average. It gets the job done for 1981. All right, now with that, let's move on to our next game. Where are we going? What's happening next? We're on the VIC-20, and this is Engineshed? Engine's Head? It's all blended together. Engineshed, Engine Head. Let's take a look at the artwork for Engine. Oh, it's education. Uh-oh. Suitable for 7 to 11-year-olds. Well, that means we're most likely doing an educational title, which if it's early childhood, 7 to 11 is early childhood, so we're going to take this and give it a fat 0. Who in the world? The community rated this a 4.63. Okay, if it's that high, let's see just in case. Let's pop in Engineshed and play. I don't know why we rated so high. If it's early childhood, though, it's going to be a quick in and out, and then we're done. Engineshed. To put the engine into the Engineshed, give the answers quickly. Check your time at the end of the game. Is it just a math game? It's loading up. Oh my gosh, really? Yeah, that's it. Done. You just put in the math problems and it moves the engine. It's just bare bones. 0 stars. Like we do on the channel, anything that's for super young or adults only, not gonna do it. Here we go. After Engineshed, let's see what's next. We're now headed to the arcade, and this is Enigma II. I don't think we ever saw Enigma 1. Where's Enigma 1? Quick, someone Google that. We never saw Enigma 1. But this is Enigma 2. Here's the artwork for Enigma 2. Oh, it's by GPI. Keep your eye on GPI. Game Plan Incorporated, and they changed their marketing. It's not Keep Your Eye on GPI anymore. It's GPI, the realm of the coin. I don't know which one I like better. You'll thrill all the way to the tank. Doesn't tell us anything about Enigma 2. There's the example of the arcade cabinet. It doesn't even look like it's the real arcade cabinet by the screenshot in the middle. Yes, it is an Enigma. That's right. There's our control panel. It looks like we have a joystick to move left and right and thrust and fire. Okay, so we have 2 buttons, 1 or 2 players, but alternating play. And then there's our arcade marquee for Enigma 2. Game Plan Incorporated. No other info there. We got a manual. We haven't seen a manual in the arcade for a while. And so this is GPI's Enigma 2 for the arcade. Let's see if it has anything about the game. Enigma 2 is a 19-inch color, 1 or 2 player, designed to capture and maintain player interest. What? Who did the marketing for this? It has a joystick for horizontal ship movement and thrust and fire buttons. Thrust button allows for vertical ship movement to avoid bombs or refuel. The fire button allows you to destroy attacking aliens. And that's it. I think that's it. Unpacking info, installation. Yeah, the rest is going to be technical, it looks like. And then it has, okay, game start mode, single player game. Enigma 2 is 3, 4, 5, 6 turns, beginning with 16 to 32 aliens on the first screen. And then you'll lose your ship if you're hit by a bomb. Bomb explodes, being hit. Aliens reaching the bottom level, thrusting into an alien. Assuming a 4-ship first player destroys. Yeah, this still sounds technical, but the single-player game has aliens which swoop and dive and short attack the player's ship. Should the player be skillful enough to complete this round, the next round is a starfield with a large cruiser slowly moving across the top while raining bombs. So it's trying the trope we've seen in the arcades now, which is, let's not do the same thing that like Space Invaders had, the same screen. Let's go, after you finish all the aliens, the next screen, something totally different. Maybe a different game genre entirely. So it looks like that's what they're doing. But 2-player is identical with alternating play. And then they got the game over mode. Okay, so they gave a little bit of information there in the manual. Let's see what other versions we got. Okay, we got one on Space Invaders hardware. We're playing the original. This is Enigma II in the arcades, released by Taio System at some point in 1981. Wow, okay, we got some cool artwork on the outside. I'll take it. So let's take a look at the attract mode. Game Plan Incorporated. I already forgot the new slogan. Keep your eye on GPI, we said over and over again. The new one's different. So this is showing the point values of all the enemies. It feels like the color scheme is a ZX Spectrum color scheme, but we haven't even seen that computer yet. It doesn't exist, and we're in the arcades. So it's a shooter, yeah, and it's changing the formula. Instead of just move left, right, and fire, you can actually thrust forward. All right, let's put a coin in and see what Enigma 2 is like. Pushing player 1 start. All right, so right off the bat, where's my... Okay, I got a thrust that brings me back to the other side. And it looks like these are enemies laying bombs at the bottom. Okay. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so check it out. If I try to shoot off fast, watch the bullet. The bullet stops. It allows me to continue to shoot very fast, but it doesn't continue its path. It resets the bullet path after I shoot. I've never seen that in any game so far up to this point. So if I fire a shot and I wait for the bullet, it'll go all the way to the end. But if I continue to fire, look at this. It just fires over and over again in a very small path here. All right, so first round's done. Looks like we're on a new set of enemies. Okay, and this time they're dropping bombs, but it's still very... Oh, okay, the thruster is how you avoid... Oh, I see. The bomb doesn't go to the bottom, it goes to where you are. And the thruster just helps you get out of the way of the bomb. So graphically, yikes. Of all the arcade games, it looks like we're playing something that could be programmed on the VIC-20. maybe even something else. It's definitely, the color scheme is very much ZX Spectrum, which doesn't exist, but so graphically it's not doing anything special. I really wanted to see it like a different game mode or a way to play, but not seeing it. And very bizarre shooting scheme where I have to let the bullet fire completely to the end before I enter the next one. I don't know what this is. Okay, so here we go. This is what we need the manual for. Of if there's a goal or a strategy to this section. Oh my gosh, that UFO is all over the place. So it looks like 3 lives and you're done. How are they doing the high score table? Okay, so they allow you to put your initials in. It's really cool seeing the beginning of the high score table. We've seen games that had nothing, and then all of a sudden you could have a high score, but you couldn't put your initials in. And then one game started the let's put your initials in, and then now everything. Well, not everything. We're getting games slowly adding more this functionality to the system. Which, if you look at it from the operator side, we're reading the manuals of these arcade games, and they're pointing out all the new things that come out on the arcade. And so the manuals now break down every type of mode. So they have the attract mode, they have the putting in your coin mode, they have the play mode, and then they have the game over mode. And now they're doing the high score table as another mode that almost every arcade game is incorporating. All right, so let's go again. Putting the coin in, pushing start for Enigma II. Yeah, the shooting is so weird compared to anything else we've seen so far. I don't know if I can get used to it, because I have to wait until... When we played single-shot shooting games or space games in the arcade, I would fire a shot, and of course you'd hit fire again, but nothing would happen. You let the shot continue to the end. But now it erases it. It doesn't continue its path. What in the world? Oh man, I can't believe I got out of that. Okay. Yeah, this one does not have a plexiglass overlay. Oh my gosh. Because if it had a plexiglass overlay, the color star field in the background would be the same colors we're seeing the enemies go past. So as it passes by, the plexiglass overlay was games that the entire color band across would be that color, but they're not doing that with the star field. So if you're in the arcade in 1981 and you've seen all the other games we've seen up to this point in the arcade, I would totally pass by Enigma II. It is not wanting to draw me in because look at the star field in the background, the multicolor star field. We've seen scrolling from that on Moon Cresta and variants of that nature. So this is a static color star field, and the enemies that are coming are single color sprites. So with all the other games we've seen to this point, what would draw you in to play Enigma II? Well, we'll go one more chance to see if I can see another game mode or if it plays differently, but it looks like it's still all the same shooter. The mechanic of flying up with the booster is different, but not enough to really drive this into that territory of how are you going to spend your money? You go to the arcade and you get $5. Your parents give you $5 and how are you going to spend it? I would be wanting to play the other games we've seen at this point in 1981 and not Enigma II. Oh, I forgot about when they drop the bombs. They don't go all the way to the bottom. It's wherever you are and it targets your location. So yeah. Look at that. Yeah, cheap. It's kind of like they know that you have the ability to thrust forward and die faster. So down at the bottom is the gosh. If they drop it down, you're pretty much done unless you move to the left or right. But your thrust power is the meter at the bottom of the screen. All right, so we didn't get as far about what do they call it? Was it stage 3, or was that no? That was in Encounter. We didn't get stages. They didn't say what the next round was called in Enigma 2, but we got to the third one. That's good enough for me because this one is not really a very good game for the arcades, considering everything else we've played. I don't really want to say it's a bad game, though. There we go, Board. Yeah, but Board was for Encounter at Questar 4. Whatever they call it for Enigma 2, we got far enough. Yeah. So I was going to say it's for all the other games we played at this point, it's not a average game. It had a couple of mechanics, but it still can be considered bad. So I'm going to go 2 stars for Enigma II. If you consider everything else we played up to this point, there's so many more arcade games your quarters would go into, and not this one. Sorry, GPI, you got to do something different. All right, so let's go on to our next game. After Enigma II, we're in the handheld territory. This is Escape, which is by Time and Fun, or VTech is the name of the company. And this is the ripoff of Game & Watch. Let's take a look at the box for Escape. So right off the bat, it says new. That's great. Everything's new in 1981. So it has the same feel as all the other Nintendo Game & Watches. 2 buttons, one on either side with Game A, Game B. And then do we have any other artwork for Escape? Looks like this is in English. We've seen a few of these in other parts of the world. I believe this one is Europe, where the Escape game came from. Not able to tell from the box. Yeah, it actually, it's in English, so maybe it's in the UK. Okay, so let's put it in the palm of our hand and play some Escape, released at some point in 1981 by VTech. How does it compare to the Game & Watch? It's like a exact competitor for what it would be. All right, so let's start with, let's try Game A out and see what it's like. Look, they even have the time, like a Game & Watch. Man, it's such a ripoff. One of the very first music riffs we've seen on a handheld. So control-wise, I have 2 buttons I can move left and right, and it looks like I am the prisoner escaping from the prison. Okay. I get it. So we have a gate at the end, and all I can do for controls is move left and right. No way! Would this classify as the very first handheld stealth game? Because I'm moving a prisoner in between, and there's a cop on the end. Let me... Yeah, if you're found out, he captures you and you get jailed. And then the gate is opening and closing. I'm not controlling it, it's just random. But then you get your prisoner to escape the end. Very cool. Okay, so this is a ripoff of Game & Watch, but we haven't seen a game like this, where you're meant to avoid places instead of capture something. So this is pretty cool. You're having to make sure that your prisoner is not in line of sight as the cops to escape the prison. No way. Very cool. Okay, and it is just 2 buttons. I'm just moving left and right, but you can get caught on either side. Yep, and as soon as you move is when you appear. So right now I'm not touching any of the buttons, and my prisoner's not on the screen, so I can decide when he comes out and then make a dash for the exit and escape. Oh, and the gate though doesn't open until you. It's very random. You get 5 chances though. That's pretty cool. And then let's go again with game. Let's try Game B just to see. It's usually more difficult. That's what we've seen on the Nintendo Game & Watch. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, we're going faster. Got it. Those handheld sounds. Now, if you think of all the handhelds we played up to this point, this is a cool idea. We haven't seen anything do this where it's like a stealth mechanic. You're trying to sneak your way to the other side. Yeah, pretty cool. Oh, yeah, this is awesome. And it has the top and down. So you have to think of both sides before you make your move. And then if the gate, yep, the gate's not opening, so I got to move my way back and wait until the gate opens to try to get out. And you're just doing the same that we've seen on the other handhelds. Trying to get the high score you can. It's one of those games that you probably got frustrated playing for a little bit of time because you get to a point you're like, oh, I died again. All right, I lost my 5 lives or whatever. And then you come back on a car ride, train ride, or whatever, and then you come back and then play it again and say, I bet I can go for a higher score than that. And that's basically what you would do with the handhelds back then. The only other one that was deeper than this would be something we saw on the Milton Bradley Microvision. But this one's pretty cool. Great idea. And that's Escape. A handheld that's a ripoff of the Nintendo Game & Watch that didn't do an exact game. They made their own game, and it's actually pretty good. So for the time, that is above average. Is it one of the best handhelds you could play from all the other handhelds we played up to this point? I'm going to give it 4 stars for sure. It's definitely a 4-star handheld game. I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best thing you could play in the palm of your hand. We played other handhelds that would be better, so it's not the best handheld you could play, but it is very, very good. So we're going to do 4 stars for Escape. I am very surprised. Usually the ripoff games, I'm expecting something worse, but never something better. So that's pretty cool. All right, after Escape, let's see what our next game is. All right, we're now going to play Escape from Traam. Traam. And we have 3 versions of it. This is the Apple II version. This is the Atari home computer version. And we have the Radio Shack TRS-80 version. So we got 3 different versions of Escape from Traam. I believe it's text adventure. I'm going to pop all 3 in just to get a taste of it. We're going to play mostly on the TRS-80 because that was the first one to come out. So let's start with the Apple II version. And I'm not even going to go over the box because the box is a fabrication. We couldn't find one. I can't find the Apple II version for it. And for other versions, looks like we got another one that came out in 84. But this is 81. And we're playing Escape from Traam. Released at some point in 1981 for your Apple II. What is it? How does it play? If it's an Apple II game, I usually have hopes for a text adventure or graphic adventure. Here we go, by Jim Pearson and Norm Saylor. Way to go, Jim and Norm. Oh, the Apple programmer was Norm. Way to go, Norm. Do you wish for instructions? Yes. So I pushed I and it came up. This new format in adventure games from Adventure International represents state-of-the-art in graphic adventure games. The dynamic changes in high-res graphics combined with accents of sound provide psychological realism never seen before. The adventure will strike you with breathtaking graphics and the plot quality of a fine novel. The format of the game is a giant step forward in adventure design and provides the large informational capability of a text adventure along with full high-res graphics. Adventure International was doing only text, and now they're doing graphic adventures, basically copying online systems. The return key can be used to toggle between text and high-res. When in high-res, inputs can be entered directly since the screen will flip to text automatically with the key press. Oh, we saw this in Escape from, the Curse of Crowley Manor, I believe is what it was called. The command load game or save game can be used at any time. Nice. And sentences are used as simple 2-word commands. A powerful machine language parser extracts the keywords. Yes, it does. Movement in the game is accomplished by entering the first letter of the direction you want to move, north, south, east, and west. You can use climb to travel upstairs, or look to give more detailed descriptions. And then content inventory. Yep, we've seen these before. So we have drop. We haven't used drop a lot. That's actually a big mechanic in adventure games. Even Roberta Williams says when she would play the very first Colossal Cave adventure, to help her find her way, she'd drop items to help her find her way around, like breadcrumbs in the game. So we haven't used that a lot, but yeah, it's a big command. Visible items are not supported by high-res drawings. This increases the speed of the game by eliminating unneeded disk space and maintaining higher standard for the artwork. What? The visible items are not, they're not going to draw in the items? Come on. Remember to look at anything and everything. The game is dynamic and things change dramatically. Keep your eyes and ears open. Okay. To optimize the 108 colors using the game, adjust your monitor to match the color bars. There they are. Red, brown, not so much. We don't have a monitor in front of us, but in 1981, you would adjust, the color on your monitor to look the best way. So brown's a little off, but we'll move forward. All right, so this is Apple Other Ventures, number 3, or Escape from Traam. Graphics with Penguin Software's picture editor. All right, so it looks like we're loading into it. The last time we played this kind of adventure game, it blew me away that this existed. That kind of had graphics, and then you could just type, and then it would switch to the text parser, and we could go back and forth between graphics and text. It's pretty cool. For the time, at least, it's pretty cool. All right, let's do a fast forward, moving our way up. Going here, there it is, loading in. Oh, graphics came really fast. You're in the cockpit of a small space cruiser flying over forest terrain. Okay, so we're flying. Nice. What happens if I look? Okay, the ship is losing altitude. Okay, so we're in a plane and we're going down, basically. I have no visible items. What about climb? Can I climb down? Oh, if I climb, I'll fall. Okay. I've never played an adventure game where I don't have to go somewhere. Usually we usually go north, south, east, and west, but we're in a cockpit. There's nothing around. What about raise lever? Huh? What? I have no inventory. I'm flying over forest terrain. I'm in a cockpit of a small cruiser. Grab handle. Yeah, if I have nothing visible, then I don't even know what I'm looking at. If uh-oh, an alarm beeps and a light blinks on a green panel. Oh, maybe I wasn't supposed to do anything. They did this in Cursor Crawley Manor, where I was sitting there waiting in the cab and thought I had to do something, but no, it eventually moved me to the next area. Okay, an alarm bleeps and a light blinks on the green panel. Look, panel. It appears to be ordinary. The ship is going down. Oh, great. Are we just going to crash? Is that the beginning of the game? The first puzzle is how not to crash? All right, look again. Uh-oh. You have survived. Oh, we were supposed to crash. Sweet. So that's part of the game. And we have graphics. Oh, man, those sweet high-res Apple II graphics. Oh, I don't know how we survived. That's our plane. You're in a small ship. You're in a small forest clearing. Your wrecked ship is strewn everywhere. So if I look again, large metallic scraps are scattered about. Get scraps. It's not a visible. Oh, so you can only use or grab the visible items when it says it under visible items. Okay, so if I look again, does it say? Now this is kind of cool. We played adventure games where you have a command and it gives you the answer. And most of the time you just repeat it and it does the exact same answer. But with this game and Cursor Crawley Manor, whenever we type the look command, it just did a different one. So it's giving us more information the more times we type look. The body of the ship is upside down. All right, look again. Do I get more? Large metal. Okay, so now it's repeating itself. Darn, I was hoping we just keep looking and give us more and more information. All right, what if we go west? Can't go that way. Go north. Can't go that way. Go east. Go south. Oh, only south. Okay. We can move south. So we're away from the ship. We have wreckage strewn everywhere back behind us. And now we are... Where are we now? You're facing a sheer cliff to the south. You see nothing special. So we have just a cliff. If we go south again, what happens? What? What about east? West? Well, at least they're keeping it simple. It's not like a town where we're exploring and having to move in different directions all over the place. So facing a sheer cliff to the south, and then if we go back north, we should be back at the ship. So we have to do something at the ship, I'm guessing. The sci-fi motif is pretty cool. And refreshing. Wait, I was like, oh no, the ship's gone. But then I remembered, oh, they have to draw everything back in again. Look, ship. Nylon rope is here. Get rope. It's not, what? You just said nylon rope was here. Oh, wait, do I have to get nylon rope? Get. Oh my gosh, you had to type the whole thing in. Okay, get nylon rope. We got it. We got nylon rope. So now if we go back south, can we use the rope on the cliff? And climb the cliff. So how? Climb cliff, you'll fall. Use rope. Use rope on cliff. Climb cliff with rope. Oh, come on. We have rope. Wait, hold on. What's at the top of the cliff? Look. Cliff. There's a stout bush at the top of the cliff. Look. Bush. You appears to be ordinary. You see nothing special about that bush. Use... Ah, that's right. I needed a specific rope. Use not... Oh, what? Use nylon rope with bush. Okay. We get it. Tie... Oh, there we go. Tie rope to bush was a good one, too. All right, so climb rope. You are at the crest of a sheer cliff. So we did it. We found the rope in the ship. We climbed the cliff. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is that euphoria you're feeling, that dopamine that's dripping down. That's because you figured out an adventure clue and you've learned what the computer wanted you to do. That is the draw of adventure games. You're at the crest of the sheer cliff. Wait, look again. So now we're at the top. Rope's tied to the bush. Get nylon rope. Can we get it back? What? Yes, it's tied to the bush. All right, fine. We'll go east. Let's go. Escape from Traam. So you are crash landed and oh my gosh, what in the world is this? Look, you're in a small clearing and alien warriors here reading a map. He's extremely ugly. The map shows strange symbols. Get map. Let's see if he hits me. It's not. Oh, it's not a visible item. Of course not. Talk. Alien. He says, "Tefurbia Hixar Yakov, see above." Okay, someone translate that quick. Talk alien. So you can't talk to the alien, but he has a map of a strange language, and then you have to possibly understand what the language is, and then talk to the alien, or maybe just ignore the alien. Can I kill the alien? You're too kind. That's awesome. All right, there you go. That's the Apple II version of Escape from Traam. And you can tell it's the trope we've seen before with graphic adventure games, but this one is one of the best adventure games, at least graphically. To be able to switch back and forth like that is fantastic. And Text Parse was able to pick up better than the other games we played in the 70s, if that means anything. All right, so we're going to rate all of these, but I'm just going to pop in and play Escape from Traam. I don't know how it's going to be different on here, but you can see the box. This is the actual one. The box in the top left corner says it's Atari 16K, Color Computer 16K, TRS Model 3 16K. So this would work for all three of those home computers. That's the way that Adventure International does it. And then if we go to the back of the box, there you go, Escape from Traam. Other Adventure number 3. Since their inception, Scott Adams Adventures have been a mainstay in the libraries of computer owners. Now the company that brought you these great programs brings you the fantasy adventure games of other authors. That's right, it's not by Scott Adams. And if you look down the program parameters, it tells you all the information about it. Like it's a compu novel is what they refer to this as. And notice it says classification. It doesn't even say game genre. It's classification compu novel. And then no sound, suggested age group 12 years old to adult. And you're supposed to complete this in about 1 month is what they guess. And then they have graphics. Wait a second. Okay, so this one is not graphic based. The Apple II version was, which makes me wonder, did we play the correct version? I'm not sure. So here we go. This is 2 different versions we have. We're going to play the one in 1981. The one that comes out in Great Britain is in 1982, so we won't be playing that one. Here we go, Escape from Traam on the Atari home computer. This must be only text then. The Apple II must be special. I found out way later when I was doing this collection that the Scott Adams Adventures were re-released as Saga series or Scott Adams Graphic Adventure series, and they're completely different than the originals because the original Scott Adams games came out in the 70s, and then he re-released them later, and I had them all blended together. I found that out later. All right, so Escape from Traam by Jim Pearson. Way to go, Jim. How we play. You're in the cockpit of a small space cruiser. So let's see if we try the same thing. Is it... ship's losing altitude. Yes, the control panel is here. Look. Control panel. Now, it's no graphics at all. The panel is smoking. The ship's losing altitude. Can it just go down? Use control panel. Oh. The alarm beeps and the light blinks on a green panel. Look again. The ship is crashing. Look again. All we get is flashing for this one. So the Atari home computer did not get a graphic version, only the Apple II one. Visible items now were crashed, but we didn't get any of the cool stuff from the Apple II version. So the graphics add so much to it. That's true. There was sound. There was no sound at all when we played the Apple II one. All right, so that's just a small taste of the beginning of that one. I just wanted to see a little bit. This one's going to be better because this one, we have the manual for the TRS-80. So this is the other way you could play it at the time. And we also have front of the box, back of the box should be exactly the same. And we have the cassette tapes that you would have popped in and played. It looks like, why is there 2? Okay, it looks like they're showing that you flip the, sometimes you'll be flipping the cassette over. That's why there's 2 of them there. And then this one's interesting because it uses graphics, but it's not what you'd expect. Not like the Apple II. It's like a the other Venture series had a graphic on the right side. So here's the manual for Escape from Traam by Jim Pearson. There we go. Yes. Hey, there's that alien. Oh, he's not reading a map there. He's trying to shoot us. So how do you load the game? We'll breeze by those. Notes on playing any of the other ventures. So Jim Pearson says, look is a valid input command. And yes, we had to use that to get further in this game. Look at inventory item, enter look, and the item's name is as it appears on your inventory. If it is nylon rope, make sure you say nylon rope. Visible items are anything that can be taken in your inventory. And this is helpful because adventure games, you never know what is real or not real. You see a picture of a wall and a painting, you're like, okay, get the painting. And the game has no idea what you're talking about. That's helpful. So we also have inventory that we manage, and then the AI, loading instructions. Okay, so how to load the Apple version TRS-80 Model 1. We'll breeze by those. If you have the Model 3, follow these instructions to load. And we got the Model 3. Oh yeah, we spent the $1,000 back in 1981. And then, nice, the return registration warranty card. And Adventure International did this. Check it out. To get warranty for your product, that you can. This is how they got information on the game. The program's too simple. I rate the program with a scale of 1 to 10. How did you hear about it? Where'd you purchase it? I own which computers? Which, look at this. This card has the TRS-80 Model 1, Model 2, Model 3. Nobody had the Model 2. There's no games on that one. At least not that I know of. Then the color. They call it the TRS-80 color here. The TRS-80 Pocket. I'm not familiar with that one. Apple II, the Atari 400 or 800, and then how much memory your computer has. Whoa! 48K memory on your PC, your home computer. Okay. And then what do you subscribe to? Nice. So that's the warranty manual. And then wait, is that all they had? The manual is just ads. It has nothing about the back of the box. Has more about the game. Yeah, there it is. The back of the box has more info about the game. And then Jim Pearson tells you some tips, but then that's it. That's all. There's just notes, and that's all they have. So the manual did not really help us that much. I guess you get more from the back of the box. All right, here we go. This is the TRS-80 version of Escape from Traam. Oh, that's interesting. Because whenever I was going to collect, I didn't find anything that would be viable on the Model 2. It was mostly Model 1 and 3 that I found. All right, here we go. What is it? Escape. Gotta be. Let's load Escape and play Escape from Traam. Other Adventure number 3, and you can see this one is 1980. This is one of the ones we're catching up to. So the newest, latest, and greatest was the Apple II version. This was the first on the TRS-80. When it was the first for a lot of these text adventure games. Okay, so visual items, we're familiar with this. What do? We look. The ship's losing altitude. Look again. Control panel. Look. Control panel. The panel is smoking. Look again. The ship's losing altitude. Look again. Control panel in front of you. Look. Control panel. The panel is smoking. Now, the whole time we did this, all these other adventure games, they have this artwork that's right here above my shoulder. They keep that there the whole time. So I don't know if you can classify it as a graphic adventure game, because it's the same artwork every time. I would still consider these text-only adventure games, because what you see here is the same we're going to get the whole time. So look again. An alarm beeps. A light blinks on a green panel. Ship's going down. No. No sound still. So Atari still got the sound. You have survived. You're in a forest clearing. You wrecked your ship. And you can see artwork still the same as it was before. So look again. You see large metallic scraps. Look again. Ship's upside down. So if we go north, is it the same? You can't go that way. Go south. You're facing the sheer cliff to the south. So go back north. And then look, ship. We know the first puzzle. Get nylon rope. Okay. Oh, and it doesn't have inventory displayed. Or it does have the visible items, but if it wasn't, we had to look at the ship, though, to actually be visible. So if we go, we'll go back south, I mean. And then we're at the cliff to the south. Use nylon rope on bush. Even though we haven't looked at the bush, we know it's there. Climb rope. Use rope. Climb. There we go. And we're at the crest. So obviously the graphics give you more, but like they say on the back of the box, you're supposed to use your imagination. So every time that we do these commands and do this, you're reading and you're imagining it's happening, or you're pretending like it's reading a book, basically. And the writing of these adventure games are just going to get better and better and better. Kind of a cool thing that I think of whenever we're going back to the 70s. We played all the games in the 70s, and we're moving our way up, and all the games that are text adventure games, the writing is going to improve. We are still going to get some duds. It's not all bells and whistles, but we are going to get writing better. And one thing that I think of is like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and the other Infocom releases. It's going to get to the point where you're reading a novel, a really good story, and that's what draws people into these kind of games. All right, so Escape from Traam. I'm going to do different ones for each one because the Apple II one is above average. This one is actually, I think, the one that you would have gotten, and the other ones, we're picking up the slack of the ones we missed. So this one is above average for sure. 4 stars. Is it up in the range of everything else? Can't tell for sure unless you play all the way through, but we'll say 4 stars definitely for Escape from Traam for the Apple II. And then for the Atari and TRS-80, we're going to just keep them at average. 3 stars, pretty standard for what you expect for an adventure game at the time. Standard. 3 stars, Escape from Traam. Now, I love these adventure games and seeing the slow progression of things being introduced. I actually thought before starting the channel and cataloging and organizing all the games that the text adventure game was going to last a lot longer. I can't believe how quickly we got graphic adventure games to pop in, and they're already starting to be more prevalent in 1981. Blows my mind. Another concept I didn't even think of or think I'd experience on the channel. All right, so that was where we're going to pause this evening, playing some adventure games and some games on our home computer in 1981. But we got so many more games to go through. We'll be going through in alphabetical order, finishing up the rest of the year. Who knows where we'll go and what we'll see. We will catch you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we miss any games along the way. This video would not be possible without RetroArch and Launchbox. Please tell your friends there's some crazy guy out there trying to play every single video game. You can always check out Chronologically Gaming on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We will catch you next time.